Let me get my stuff together. Trying to get this so it's not moving. Okay, that's good. All right, so we are back, or I'm back, and today is day 20 of Create with Gina. If you are looking for any of the previous videos, you simply have to just type in the hashtag Create with Gina and you will see the others. And you can also put in a particular day and the number, and then hashtag with the hashtag Create with Gina to pull up previous videos if you're trying to find anything before day 20, which is today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Gina, and I am the moderator on this particular page called Beating Autoimmunity the Natural Way. For the last 20 days, for the last 19 days, I've been on just doing a little mini art therapy session with everyone. So if you have been taking part in those, I would love to see the work that you've created. Just simply post them in a copy of it in the comment section of the particular day that you might have created the work for. Today, like I said, is day 20, and we're going to do something a little interesting today. The name sounds kind of strange as far as the activity that we're going to do, but the activity itself is a lot of fun. And I kind of hesitated putting the actual name of the activity, the name that it's been known as, simply because of everything that's going on in the world right now. But I'm going to explain how this particular activity came about. I'm sure you're familiar with the artist named Frida Kahlo. She's certainly not known for being a funny woman, but this particular game actually came about as a result of something that a particular drawing that she did many years ago, back in like 1932 or something. The name of this activity that you're going to do is called, the original name is called Exquisite Corpse. And like I said, it does sound weird, and I hesitated to use it because, like I said, of everything that's going on. But once I explain everything that it entails, you'll see that it's really not meant to be anything, really gory or death related. So anyway, Frida Kahlo, like I said, isn't necessarily known for her humor, but in 1932 she did a drawing of her husband, another famous artist, Diego Rivera. And in this particular drawing, she depicted him wearing heels and kind of really wobbly on his legs, and she drew him having like a really big chest, and they were kind of droopy. And in his hand, instead of drawing like a paintbrush, which he was famous for because he was a muralist, she drew a broom. So this really funny drawing of her husband kind of caught on with a lot of other artists, and they kind of took it to a whole other level. So basically how it's done is, and this is going to be an activity that you can do together, because and I'll explain how it's going to be done. It's basically taking a drawing and adding on, having other people add on to it until everyone in the room has contributed to the particular drawing. So the first time I did this, I believe, was my 7th grade students many years ago, and I was teaching junior high. And hi, Miss Nancy, I see that you're watching. Yeah, I did this particular activity as kind of a filler activity because everyone had finished with their assignment and the bell hadn't rung yet. So I said, let's just do this little activity. And everyone, the class of 18, everyone grabbed their sketchbooks, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of play out how we did it. For each, for about 20 seconds, each student would draw in their sketchbook, and then they would pass it on to the next person after we determined exactly where it was heading. It would be passed on to the next person who would add on to that particular drawing, and then they would pass on after 20 seconds and add on to the next drawing. And you see that the sketchbooks just kept rotating until each student received their personal sketchbook again after 18 people had contributed to the drawing. And what they ended up with was nothing that anyone could have predicted, which is why it's called Exquisite Corpse. I'm not sure exactly how. Well, the word corpse actually came in based on Frida Kahlo's drawing because it was of a person, but it wasn't the way that she depicted her husband in her drawing was kind of, you know, outlandish, which I think is how the term corpse came about. And Frida Kahlo didn't give the name Exquisite Corpse to what she was doing. It was later on that a couple other surrealist artists actually came up with that name. So I'm going to give you several options on how we're going to do this activity. But by the end of it, you're going to have a very comical, strange-looking drawing or collage or however you decide to do it. So like I said, there are going to be a couple ways of doing this. If you are by yourself, you can certainly do this activity. If you have multiple people in your home right now, it's going to be even more fun. And I'm going to give you, if you're alone, I'm going to give you a couple of options that you can do. And if you have multiple people, there are a few options there as well. So the first way to do this is simply by starting a sketch. Each person is given a sheet of paper and a pencil, and you can either start off by, you can do it the traditional way, which is starting off by drawing a head, and then each person add on something to that particular head to contribute to the end of it being an exquisite corpse. Or you can simply do a doodle, and then after about 20 seconds pass it on to the next person, who will contribute to that doodle by adding their own little doodle or whatever they want to draw on there. And then that keeps on going throughout each person, and by the end of it you have what I'm calling a doodle centric, or just a different version of the game. Another way of doing this is cutting out different images out of magazines and old books, and simply gluing them together in however you want to see what comes out of it. And this is the one, if you're alone, doing the collage is actually a lot easier, because when you're trying to do a doodle sketch and you're by yourself, you kind of want to, you tend to force yourself to make it look as pretty as you can. And when you're giving that power to someone else to add to your drawing, you really don't have the power to say, well, this is what you want it to look like. So when it comes to the collage part, you simply just cut out a bunch of images out of the magazine and start gluing them together in a random kind of humorous sort of way, and see what particular piece of art you can come up with. So 3 ways: start up with a sketch or a doodle, and keep passing it on to the different family members who are with you. Or if you're alone, you can choose to do like the collage simply by cutting out different images out of a magazine. There's another way that you can interpret this game if you don't necessarily want to follow those two with the collage pieces or the doodling. You can simply start off by writing a word. Say, maybe let me choose a word for this particular time: healing. So you can write that word onto the sheet of paper and keep passing that around until every family member has contributed some kind of drawing to it, maybe like flowers or hearts or whatever they want to contribute in some form, maybe even in just doodling, and just keep passing that around to each family member until everyone has contributed. And then you have an exquisite drawing that you can now frame and maybe have as a memory of just something interesting that you did throughout this really challenging time. All right, so it's not meant to be, like I said, with the name, it's not meant to be anything kind of gory. And as far as rules are concerned, when I taught this in junior high, the one rule I had was that they weren't supposed to draw anything that was gory, scary, or anything, because I just didn't want them to do that, considering these were young kids. I'm going to leave you to come up with the rules. I'm not going to set rules for your household. Those are just the rules that I had from my students. You get to decide how you want to, what rules you want to establish as far as this game is concerned. I do want you to, I did write down some notes for myself. Set a timer. Don't give everyone like a minute to do the sketch, because there's too much thinking involved when you have that amount of time. So when you say 20 seconds, it kind of forces the person to add to the drawing really quickly. And those are the drawings that end up looking really, really funny, but very interesting at the same time. And you just keep passing it along to the next person, giving them each person the same amount of time. If it's not filled out by the time it comes back to you and you want to do another round, then by all means do so. Now, I did mention if you were alone, what you could do as far as the collage is concerned. Another way that you could do this after all of this craziness is over, and if the mail hasn't shut down, because I know that they were talking about shutting down the mail. If the mail system hasn't been shut down and you have a pen pal, or you have family members in other parts of the country, another way that you could do this is start the doodle or the sketch yourself and then mail it to a family member in another state or another city, whatever the case might be. Have them contribute to it, send it back to you, or send it to another family member somewhere else. And it's kind of like the Flat Stanley idea, except this is the Exquisite Corpse version, where it's just traveling from city to city or state to state, family member to family member, and give a certain time period in which you want it to get back to you, and then see what that particular drawing looks like. There is no wrong or right look for this, and chances are you could never duplicate this, but it's certainly a fun activity that everyone can do together. So it's meant to be stress-free. It's meant to decrease whatever anxiety you might be having, which is why I said I prefer not to be any kind of really outlandish or gory drawings, but like I said, you set the rules for your particular household. If you have any questions about this, just go ahead and post them in the comment section below. I did post some examples in the previous post when I was announcing that I was coming on live. What I'll do is I will post those examples beneath this video to give you an idea of how they can look. But I certainly am looking forward to seeing them, and I am going to be doing one with my youngest son, going back and forth, and we'll most likely do one of each, one with the doodling and then one with the collage as well, and I will share those with you once they are completed. But once you've completed your activity, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing them. So just simply post them in the comment section below, and I will see you tomorrow for day 21. If you're looking for the previous days, like I said, just simply go back, look for the hashtag Create with Gina, or look up a particular day with the number and then the hashtag Create with Gina, and just let me know if you have done the activities simply by posting them in the comments. Just take a picture, post them in the comments below, and I will see you again real soon. Thank you again for being here. I know that it does take 20-30 minutes out of your day, but I do appreciate you being here. The activities that I'm doing with you are meant to be stress relieving. So I don't want you to get so caught up in making these perfect, because they're meant to just relax you, and this one especially, you're going to have a laugh. if you're not laughing at the end of this, then I'm going to say you didn't do it right, because it is really meant to be a hilarious activity, a fun activity for everyone to do. All right, so I will see you all again tomorrow for another episode of Create with Gina.